Welcome to Go with Kyle Harbaugh. By combining traditional business building methods with AI, Kyle helps law firms, financial advisors, and a variety of businesses thrive in a changing world to build custom growth playbooks to success. Now, here's Kyle.
Welcome to Go with Kyle Harbaugh. By combining traditional business building methods with AI, Kyle helps law firms, financial advisors, and a variety of businesses thrive in a changing world to build personalized roadmaps to success. I'm Evan Mack, and today we're talking about one of the most costly and culture-shaping parts of running a business, hiring. Kyle's tool, RightHire AI, is designed to help law firms, owners identify, assess, and place the right people quickly without relying on that gut feel. This is all about hiring for alignment, not just resumes. This is hire right in 24 hours using RightHire AI to build a strong culture. Kyle, sir, welcome back.
Hey, I'm glad to be back. Thanks a lot, Evan.
You got a lot of things you've developed and implemented, sir.
Yeah, you know what? It's really, I got to give credit where credit is due. I couldn't have done this without my partner, Sam Robinson.
Wow.
He is just a genius. No other way to say it. A great leader, a great operator, and knows how to code.
we got to get Sam on here. We got to get him on here. We can chop it up. So Kyle, why is hiring such a common challenge for law firms and other professional service businesses, in your opinion?
Yeah, so this is really one of the biggest limiting factors for any professional service. You have to be able to get good people inside of your firm, train them, and then have them serve your clients at a high level for a consistent period of time. Often what happens is people get that training, they get some experience, and they go, I don't really like it here. I'm going to go hang up my own shingle and do my own thing and be my own boss. And attorneys are very, very independent. They're very, they don't want to, a lot of them, they don't want to be bossed around. And so you have to figure out alignment and get that alignment piece right. So people are moving in the same direction and you're partnering with them and their long-term goals. And that's just not done very well by most firms. You really have to get thoughtful and take a different approach.
So what exactly is RightHire AI? How does it help, with the hiring process?
Before RightHire AI, my partner, Sam Robinson, he's a real jack of all trades. I love Sam, and he was a recruiter for a while. And this was his methodology for recruiting really, really good top candidates. So this was something that he developed and we used for years before we used it when it wasn't an AI system. And then we trained an AI using this framework so that we could provide a faster delivery and more consistent delivery of what we were already doing. So what it looks at is 6 key areas of the hiring process. So you have benefits, culture, and development opportunities on the company side. And then you have on the candidate side, you have the personality, their personal goals, and their skill set and experiences. So can they do the job? Do they have the right personality to mesh with the culture that you're looking to develop? And then do they have long-term goals that actually align with the firm? Because I've seen some really, really good people who they have the skills, they have the personality, but that last piece, they didn't have long-term goals that aligned. They didn't make it long-term in a firm.
So how does this tool go beyond just reviewing resumes and qualifications and kind of implementing all those things you just mentioned?
Yeah. So like I said before, this was a framework that we use to help our clients scale their business and get really good top talent in their business beforehand. But you have to be really strategic. You have to ask the right questions, and you have to look a little bit broader than just skills and experience and your benefits package and that sort of thing. You really need to get thoughtful and ask some deeper questions. And then when you collect all that data, it gets kind of confusing. The hiring process is just tiring in general. Like you list your ad, you finally get some people, you interview them, you do your first round interview. Maybe it's just a phone call for 15 minutes. Then you actually do your formal interview. And then you're like looking at just all these resumes and you're like, I don't know who to pick. This one seems pretty good. This one seems pretty good. Maybe you got a third one that you like. I only have one role. How do I do this? So this narrows it down with data. It crunches all that information that you've collected and gives you a data-driven report that explains who's the best person to hire, who's most likely to work the hardest, who's most aligned with the firm, who's most likely to serve your clients the best. So what you want and what the candidate wants are the same thing. You're moving in the same direction.
So what are the risks of hiring based purely on experience or likability instead of that culture fit?
Oh man, it is a super big risk. So
Yeah.
about $200,000 or more if an associate attorney is placed wrong and they're not a good fit and they leave. Yeah, because and that's not just salary. That is a loss of a salary. So because you've gone through the process of hiring somebody, you've had to take time out of your day to look at all these people. You finally train somebody, get them in your business. They're working. They don't work out for whatever reason. I hope they didn't commit malpractice or do some other kind of toxic behavior while they're in the firm. You end up having to get rid of them, and now you're back to the drawing board. You have to shift the workload that they had, and you have to figure out a new person to put in their seat. It is a very big risk, and it can definitely cost many, many more times that. I actually am aware of a situation where a very high producing associate attorney left with a paralegal, and it's almost $750,000 of revenue that was expected to be generated. It just walked out the door.
Oh my goodness. So how fast can RightHire AI deliver these results, and what does the process look like from a firm using it?
Yeah, so it stands at the end of the hiring process. So it doesn't do any sorting, it doesn't do any sourcing. You got to do that stuff, but then you get a bunch of information, like I said, and then you feed it to it at the end. It stands as a filter at the end of the hiring process. So yeah, you could look at all the different personality profiles that you collect and all the interview notes and all the resumes and any kind of work product that you collect, but that's going to be very time consuming. What our system does is it analyzes all the data that you collect, and we give it to you in a very detailed report in 24 hours. It not only tells you who to hire, but how to train them, how to onboard them, and how to retain them long term, and then how they might fit into your firm long term to really help grow and push your firm forward.
So Kyle, what are the biggest hiring mistakes you see firm owners make before they work with you?
Not asking enough questions, not asking the right questions. It's another one of these situations where the data is hidden in plain sight. But if you don't ever ask that question, you're never gonna open up or the other, you're never gonna get that information. The other piece is you're not building enough rapport for the person to trust you and actually share. So if I'm in an interview process and I'm the candidate and somebody asks me, tell me about your long-term goals, and I tell them something, it's like, well, how can I help you achieve those long-term goals? You said you want to do XYZ. How do I fit into that? Instantly, I'm already like, wow, this person is really thoughtful and kind. And it seems like they actually value me and want my best interest. They're taking a real interest in me as a person. And that's a much better place to start a relationship with.
How can this type of hiring approach improve that long-term retention in that team culture that we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, so right hire is, not a silver bullet, but it can definitely help you have much better hire or retention. We're seeing very, very high retention numbers. All of our clients and ourselves, we use it, of course. We're seeing over a 90% retention rate. So wow. It's very, very effective because we're not looking at just a paycheck. All of a sudden, we're looking at other motivators that are keeping people staying? What are their personal goals? What are their long-term aspirations? What are their what's important to them? Like benefits, and that's much broader than just pay. That could be flexible work schedule
Yep.
or remote work or insurance benefits or retirement. It could be a bunch of different things, and we coach our clients on taking a much broader look, and you can make that broader look because you have an AI in your back pocket to help you process all that data very quickly, so you can make a decision very, very fast and
Do you
feel
have, do
good
you have
about
an
it.
do you have an example, Kyle, for a firm that used RightHire AI and saw a major difference in the morale or the performance or anything like that?
This is a pretty cool story. So one of the firms I'm working with, they hired or they looked at somebody. Right Hire said I was highly recommending this one person. They're still within the firm. They're
Wow.
working out great, and it was super important because the owner wanted somebody to their exit planning, their succession planning. They want to. They were working a lot of hours. I want to say they were working over 80 hours a week. And so they
Oof.
really needed somebody to take the pressure off. So they brought in they found an A player who could really do a lot of high level work and really serve the clients well. And they had confidence in. They brought this person in. They've stayed the whole time. They've done a great job. The owner has been able to take a step back out of the business. And the really cool thing is um, the little insights that this report gives. So although they were a high fit, they were really reliant, or they really preferred physical copies of things. So one of the recommendations in the report was, hey, print off all of your material and give it to them in a packet. They're going to read it more consistently. They're going to refer to it more. They're going to retain it better because they like physical things. So the owner did that, and the the client commented like, "Oh wow, that was so thoughtful that you did that for me," and
Hmm.
just help build that relationship, and that's what keeps people around.
So for someone struggling with that high turnover or maybe a toxic work dynamic, what's the first step that you would recommend?
So awareness, you got to figure out where that toxic work dynamic is coming from. Maybe it's um, I'd like to think about it like a disease. So you
Hmm.
might kind of quarantine that person and kind of only certain people can work with this person because they really have a toxic um, you know, personality. Maybe you have some hard conversations and say, hey, this isn't going to work. This isn't a fit for who we are and who we want to have around in the firm, and work with them. But yeah, it might at some point you might have to make that hard decision and get rid of that person and replace them. So it's a multi-prong approach there. You need to get new people in who are better culture fits, but you also need to look at what's going wrong in your organization and figure out like what to do about it, or how to dilute that negativity to get to a better place.
Hmm. Kyle, sir, thank you for the information and the time as always.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. And thank you all for listening to Go with Kyle Harbaugh. If you're tired of hiring or guesswork and ready to build a team that actually fits your culture and your mission, RightHire AI is designed to help. To learn more about or request a demo, visit chiefgoofficers.com. And if this episode sparked new ideas for how to grow your team, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone else that might find this information helpful. Thank you so much for taking the time. We'll see you next time.
My pleasure.
If you heard anything you would like to discuss with Kyle, please schedule a call with him using the link in the show notes. Please also be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review in the comments.